Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. Looks like we are live here. Real Talk with Mary Grace. Come on in and please say hello in the YouTube and Facebook chat and Periscope so that I can see you in my feed. There you are. Hello. Good to see everybody. Excellent. Here you come. Okay, please hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Please subscribe, hit the notifications, and also like the page on Facebook. Just checking out my chat here on Periscope. I'm Mary Grace, and this is Real Talk with Mary Grace. It is Monday, the 8th of March, 2021, and we are on the edge of amazing. Winning, winning, winning. Okay, sorry about my head being cut off a little bit. We'll see if we can fix that. Okay, good to see everybody. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Share this if you can. If you're on Facebook, please share this into groups, big groups, lots of groups with lots of people. Let's get around the algorithm. If you're on Periscope, retweet this, invite followers, share it out. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you're following my Telegram account, which is Mary Grace Media Official. Mary Grace Media Official. And let's see who's coming in here. Okay, good. I see everybody coming in. Awesome. Good to see everybody. So, how's everybody doing? How was your weekend? Hope everybody had a good one. It's getting to be spring here. We cleaned out the bird houses so the bluebirds could build their little nests. We have some birds building a nest on the wreath by the front door. It happens every year. So no matter what we do, they like it because we don't use the front door very much. And so they have a little privacy over there. So hey Linda on YouTube, I sent you an email, but I didn't hear back from you. So we can try to connect later. Okay. So Paul on Facebook, I have not seen the latest from Kat Kerr. Was that today? Did she put out an update today? Because if she did, I've got to go see it. As usual, it's been a busy day. I run a lot of things at the same time. And so if you're trying to connect with me or meet up with me or anything like that, don't take it personally if it doesn't happen in the immediate. It's just the way things are right now. I actually took yesterday off. Didn't really work, so that was a good thing. And so I took a break. But what's going on? I guess nothing, huh? Nothing's really happening. That's what everybody keeps saying. Nothing happens. Nothing's happening. I'm out of here. I can't stand this. I can't do it. There actually is stuff happening, and I think there's something's interesting going on, and that is that a lot of the things that people wanted President Trump to do when he was in office are happening now. And her broadcast was over the weekend. Yeah. So it's interesting because, you know, a lot of the things are happening now. So, for example, Cuomo in New York is under investigation for putting seniors into nursing homes over COVID. And everybody kept saying that nothing was going to happen. So, but look, it's now happening. Are we having problems with audio? Or is it just one of my YouTube listeners? So I think a lot of it is happening behind the scenes. And I think that if you are watching our live stream that's happening late at night, I think that you should be encouraged. Are we getting feedback? Is it just Lisa that's getting a feedback? I don't know how we're getting an echo. Everybody's getting an echo? Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I've got an issue here. I may be getting audio through different places. Hold on. Okay. Is it any better? Any better? There's a lag in the chat. So are we still getting it? It doesn't help if you say yes or no. If you just say no more feedback, that helps me because there's a lag in the chat. So if you say no, I don't know if that means no feedback or if it means no, it's not better. It's a delayed audio or is it feedback? Those are two different things. It's repeating. Huh. Okay, let me see if I can fix it. If there's any audio people that can tell me, that would be great. Let me just see if it's oh, I know what's wrong here. Hold on. It's repeating. Huh. Okay, let me see if I can fix it. Okay, let's see if that's any better. Sometimes the settings change. Repeating on Facebook. Testing. Let's see if it's still repeating again. No, I don't have audio up on my devices. I think I fixed it. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, if you just say, if you just say yes or no in the future, it doesn't help. But thank you for that. Okay, I know what happened. It was a setting. So here we go. Now let's get back on track. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, so it was a setting in my Restream. Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you for letting me know. All right. So so what we're seeing right now is we're seeing things that are happening. And what's happening is what I believe is happening is that that the actual investigations, the things that are public, like the investigation of Andrew Cuomo, I think that a lot of those had to come now. Because just imagine, I mean, we've seen the prosecution, the political persecution and targeted persecution of our president and his family and Republicans and the president's cabinet and his campaign and all of these people. We saw that for the past 4 years, and it was very obvious. And, we know that the Democrats and the deep state are so hypocritical. They don't care if they're hypocritical, but they're so hypocritical that even the appearance of President Trump going after somebody like Andrew Cuomo, let's say that the Department of Justice opened an investigation into Andrew Cuomo and the way that he handled the nursing homes. Imagine the appearance of that and what they would make of it. They would accuse him of political targeting. That's what they would do. And so one of the things that we're starting to see here is we're seeing things heat up in that realm. And now that President Trump is out of the picture, it is that these things can heat up and it can't be attributed to him. So, technically, on paper, President Trump is gone. And so it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for these things to happen than had it happened 2 months ago, 3 months ago, a year ago, right? Does that mean that things weren't happening then? No, it doesn't. But the public awareness is happening now because the president is off the hook from being accused of going after political enemies. Because remember, these people always accuse other people of what they're doing. but the general public isn't aware of that. And the general public are so easily swayed. I mean, just think about it because, Orange Man bad. And there are people who voted for the imposter just because they've been trained and manipulated and twisted into knots, into hatred against President Trump because Orange Man bad. They can't even tell you why. They can't even tell you what it is that prompted them to vote for this other person, except that they hate Trump. And so when you have a population that has been so heavily manipulated, you have to do things under the radar like Trump has been doing. And so right now, for example, we are hearing about massive numbers of rescues of children, of cracking down on human trafficking. We're hearing about investigations of people like Andrew Cuomo. And my opinion is that a lot of that stuff has already been happening. For example, when you're rescuing children, when you're cracking down on human traffickers, you don't wake up one day. It's not like law enforcement just woke up on the uh, on the 21st of January and said, "Hey, let's go after some human traffickers. Let's rescue kids." How long do you think that they've been building these cases? It just hasn't been publicized. Are you with me? Do you guys hear my cat crying? Do you hear Barley? He's such a mess today. He was crawling around on the table before I started trying to drink my water, and now he's trying to get upstairs because the door got closed. Can you hear him? He's such a mess. I apologize. I'm not going to go let him upstairs. Hopefully, someone will let him upstairs. Crazy, my crazy cat. Um, okay, so going back to what I was saying, hopefully you can't hear him as loud as I can. But going back to what I was saying is that, there's a lot that's been happening. And I've been saying this for a long time. I've been telling you, look, there are things that are happening that don't get announced. And when you're dealing with these criminals, the last thing you want is to announce, "Hey, we're doing an investigation of your child trafficking ring." I mean, that's when the criminals go into hiding when you do that. Uh, you can't do that. But the fact that we're hearing news stories right now about these arrests, about these rescues, that's a good sign because the it means that all of this stuff has been happening in the background, okay, while nobody was looking. All right. And that leads me to my other theory about the president. And just so you know, if you're new here, um, Sherry on Facebook says, I was beginning to think I had a cat in my cart. No, it's my cat. So he's very demanding. But this leads me to my other conclusion that I have drawn about about um, about the president. And if you're new, when I refer to the president, there's only one president. It's President Trump. So if there's anybody else you're thinking of as the president, maybe you live in another country and you think I'm talking about your president, but the only president we have is President Trump. So, and YouTube, I know that you said that it's officially declared for the other person. You can keep saying that. But let me just go on to what I was saying about the president is that, when he first ran, he said that, when he first ran, he said, "I will gladly take all the slings and arrows for you." He said that. And if you think about what has been happening uh, over the last 4 or 5 years, this man has been persecuted and attacked nonstop, day in and day out. And it is extremely wearying. It's extremely tiring. It's hard on your family. I mean, his family has been attacked. His family has had death threats. He has death threats every single day. Don Jr. has death threats. The kids are basically, kept out of the picture because of uh, because of what because of the way that they've been treated. And so you think about this, a lesser man, a lesser person would have hung it up long ago. They would have left. They would have said, forget about it. I'm not going to do this. It's not worth it. My family is too important to me. I just want a quiet life. I just want to play golf. I didn't sign up for this. However, the truth is, he did sign up for this. He set out from the very beginning to drain the swamp. And I think that what most people didn't get, even the people who are in the swamp, who are working in the swamp, what most people didn't get is just how bad the swamp is. Do you guys hear my cat? I'm all serious about this, and he's screaming at the top of the stairs. Oh my goodness. So sorry. um, but the thing is, okay, the people, we were all gung ho, like, that's it, drain the swamp. And everybody's so happy about this, and everybody's ready for him to drain the swamp. And I might actually have to go on mute for a minute to let the cat upstairs if he doesn't stop, because it's very distracting to me. It's like having a crying baby. Um, so, yeah, you guys can hear him. Oh my goodness. What do you think? Should we keep going, or should I just let him cry? Um, so, so the whole point of draining the swamp is that we have seen in the last month that the swamp is just unbelievably deeper than we even thought. And so what I believe is happening right now, or what I believe happened over the last several years, if you think about the revelation that's coming out, if you're thinking about um sorry, it's always something here. If you think about the revelation that's coming out, the barley has been with me all day. He didn't miss me. Um, so somebody says he missed me. Okay, let him cry. So if you think about the revelation that's been coming out, if you, I'm just reading your comments. Somebody says save him. Somebody says let him out. Oh my goodness. So he's so loud. And at least he's not trying to jump on the table. But if you think about this, I'm going to say this for like the fifth time. The president, all of this stuff that's been happening, the president made it clear. He said, we're not giving the enemies any clue about what we're doing. We're not going to tell them our plans. We're not going to announce when we're coming. And a lot of you think that nothing happened over the last 5 years. Well, first of all, the president accomplished way more than anybody thought he would. He kept promises that he never even made, right? But in terms of draining the swamp, that is the one promise that people think that the president didn't keep. However, he's actually on video saying, we got the swamp, we caught them all. Do you guys remember that video? And here's the thing that people are having a hard time with. They're having a hard time reconciling that with the fact that President Trump left the White House on the 20th of January. Would you not agree? It doesn't seem to add up, does it? Because you're thinking, wait a minute, he was supposed to drain the swamp, but here we are with this imposter that looks like he's ruining our country. How do we reconcile this? How do we reconcile it? Um, and if you look at, and then the president is on record saying, we got the swamp, we caught them all. So what's happening? If that's true, and if he's in fact draining the swamp, or if he drained it, we're starting to see activity. We're starting to see reports of investigations and arrests and things like that. And at the same time, we're watching this crazy person that is, for all intents and purposes, intent on destroying this country. And so what's happening, right? Uh, what I think, what I think we have been witnessing over the last 4 or 5 years is that um, President Trump has been a massive distraction for the swamp. He has been uh, he has been providing cover. He's been providing cover for a lot of stuff that's been happening. because I actually believe that as much as it looks like our president has been solely responsible for getting things done, I believe that a lot of the things that have happened have been done by the military, um, in areas that we're not even privy to. And I believe that President Trump has been really providing cover. He's been a massive distraction. He has been uh, he's been making himself a punching bag. He really has. Think about it. He said, "I will take all the slings and arrows for you." And that's what he's been doing. I mean, he has think about it. Like, think about all the times that his advisors and all of the sensible people around him told him, "You should just back off. You should stop tweeting. You should be more presidential. Just lay low. Don't talk about this. Nobody needs to hear from you right now. Just just relax. You don't have to bring this up." But he just kept at it, right? He never turned off his Twitter. He never stopped. Uh, he never stopped. And if you think about it now, he literally made himself into a punching bag to run cover for all of the things that have been taking place. He put himself out there. He accomplished way more than any president has ever accomplished in history because he went there actually to get things done. Most politicians go to Washington to make a career in politics. President Trump went to Washington to restore the power to we the people. That's the major difference. So he did get a lot done, but he also put himself out there as a punching bag, as a lightning rod, and he made himself the target of all of it. And so, uh, with that in mind, with that in mind, do you think that he's finished? Do you think that after all of that, that he's just going to that he quietly walked away and said, it's not worth it anymore? I mean, because here's the thing: we know that our president likes a fight. And so you picture somebody with the personality of President Trump who not only likes a fight, but likes to win. Imagine putting yourself through all that he went through over the last 5 years and just being battered and battered and battered and battered. And then getting to that part in the movie where you're waiting for the hero to win and the movie ends. Our president is a showman. Can anybody honestly believe that there is a movie starring President Trump and we the people that ends that way, with the president being beat to a pulp and then walking away? What do you think? Did anybody ever see the movie Cinderella Man? Do you remember that movie? I think it was Russell Crowe. Don't get too hung up on who the actor was, but the story is a good story where he's a boxer. It's like any good boxing story. He just, he keeps getting beaten and beaten and beaten. And the best stories are the ones where, he's on the mat and it looks like he's not going to get up and then he comes back. So, right? Now, a lot of you have the question, how long is this going to go on? My answer is this: if I knew exactly, then all of the people that want him dead and want you dead would also know. Is that a fair answer? Now, that being said, do I think it's going to be 2024? No. Do I think it's going to be him running for office in 2022? No. I think it's going to be sooner than that. Do I know an exact moment? No. But neither does the deep state, and that's why they're panicking. Are you with me? Now, I want to tell you that um, that I was watching our live stream last night with George, and one of the things that the live stream was great, and if you're not following my channel, you should be, because if you're not following my channel, you should be, because I post all the links to those videos. And if you're new here, what I'm talking about is that the George Telegram. It's the official George. It's the magazine that was started by JFK Jr. Uh, they are posting. They are very, very close to the president. They are posting some really interesting um, information, and they are also doing live streams on YouTube. And um, in those live streams, this is important to understand, because some of you are missing what's going on. I post a link. They post a link to a YouTube video. All right, I'm giving you more information now. Somebody just said they played a repeat. You're missing the point of what's going on. Yes, they played a repeat. They played a video that they had played last week. That video was of the 2017 inauguration of President Trump. It was a real inauguration. You really see the difference. What you need to be looking at is the chat. So if you're going to the channel and you're just playing the video and you're going, we're not getting anything here, you need to be looking deeper. And this is part of what we have been learning over the years. Start to think. As we go forward in this fight, you need to start thinking critically. You need to start, and I'm not trying to lecture you, I'm just telling you what I've learned. Look beyond the surface. Okay? The video is great. The chat is where the information is. There are three channels. There are three channels that are run by George. One is George News. When you're in the chat, you will see a highlighted yellow name that says George News. That is the owner of the channel. I'm telling you this because some people are not as familiar with YouTube. All right. I'm talking about the live chat on the YouTube stream. So you open up YouTube, you see the video playing, there's a button underneath that says live chat. You can watch it while it's unfolding live, or you can go back later and you can click that and it will show the live chat. Now, I'm telling you that if it were me, which is what I've been doing, I recommend that you stay up and watch it live, because there's no guarantee that it will be there later. Even if somebody downloads the video, all the chat may be gone because they're taking down the streams. All right. So I'm telling you this now because I think the cat is kind of out of the bag. There will be backups, I believe, but people need to understand what's going on. So, but in terms of live chat, so I highly recommend that you watch the live stream and that you take screenshots of all of the comments that are coming in from the channel owners. Okay? Why? Why should you do that? I had a troll on YouTube. Because they're giving us information and they're telling you what's coming. Now, This is one of the comments that was put in at 11:49 p.m. Okay, so let me go back to the George YouTube for a minute. I mean, the George Telegram. Um, Hold on a second. The George Telegram posts. Uh, okay, so people are asking what time. This is important. George News on Telegram. It's the official channel that has a blue check. I recommend you follow that. Turn on notifications so that you will not miss their drops. Sometimes they post things and then they delete them in 5 minutes. I try to share them into my Telegram as frequently as I can, but I cannot be responsible for making sure that you get all of their information, all of their posts. I just can't because I miss some of them too. But all of us together can make sure that we get this information. And so, what I'm recommending is that we all collectively start watching and paying attention. And if you happen to see something that George posts in the Telegram channel, take a screenshot because there's a chance it may not be there. I don't know. I don't know when they're going to post things. I just don't know. And I don't know when they're going to take things down. Sometimes they leave things up for weeks. Sometimes they take them down within an hour. And so one of the reasons I think they take things down is because Telegram takes up space on your device. It saves things on your device. I'm not entirely sure that's why they do it, but what I'm recommending is that whenever they post photos or videos on their Telegram, that you download them. Okay, so now going back to the live streams that they do on YouTube, we don't know when they're going to do them. They have been doing them late at night. And when I say late, I mean really late, like 10:30, 11:30 Eastern. Sometimes they announce it that morning. Sometimes they announce it uh, the day before. You just have to keep looking, and that the reason for that is that everybody else is looking too. Okay, so this is part. So it's part of your responsibility for getting the information and for showing up to find it. That's where we are now. Do you remember last week when I said that I was thinking about getting a mimeograph machine and putting pamphlets out all over because of the censorship? This is we're in a time of censorship, and these guys are flying under the radar to a great extent because everybody is watching them and they're getting information to us about what the president is doing. Are you tracking with me? Does that help? I'm trying to explain it because this is important, and a lot of you are new to this because before it, people would post things on Facebook, they post things on Twitter, they post things here, there, and everywhere, and then everybody just had a glut of information. We're not in that place right now. This is more like a lantern in a church. You have to go and look and wait for the lantern to come up in the window. That's where we are right now. So, and you can't count on everybody else to find it for you. All right. So here we go. Last night, I was watching and I took screenshots. Oh, the other thing I'm going to recommend, if you have two devices available to you, what I recommend is that you watch the YouTube feed in one device and you keep the chat going. Sometimes it goes really fast. Sometimes they slow it down. And then you watch the George channel as well, because sometimes they post things simultaneously, and that's happened. Some of you who have been watching, you know what I'm talking about. They'll post something in the YouTube, or something will come up on the YouTube video, and then they'll be doing something simultaneously on Telegram. So if you have two devices and you can manage both, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay. And so so here's what we saw today or last night. So one of the very first things they said was this, and I'm referring to to the YouTube now. It says, "Why would we transmit battle plans to the enemy via social media? Eyes are on all of us since the drops were paused." So this is what the president has said over and over and over. Okay. So hey, Mary Wingard on Facebook. I see you. Okay. So that's one of the first things they said last night. And then they said, I got out of order. Then they said, people asking, this is important. If you take nothing away from this today, I want you to hear this. And this is for Greg on YouTube because you keep asking, but you can't know. All right. People asking for evidence of a plan or proof of control, etc., don't understand what is at stake. We are fighting a corrupt establishment that's been in power for decades. That's all caps, decades. Right? This is big. This is a really big undertaking. So you yeah, so do what you need to do to get through this. But the option of walking away doesn't really exist because that means that you surrendered to communism. Okay. And so let me keep going. I'm just going to read you the comments. And this is in all caps. This was never just going to be another 4-year election. Where have you heard that before? And then they had the double swords crossed emoji. All right. There is no one more fired up and focused right now than President Trump. Isn't that encouraging? He's still fighting for you. Our military, oath keepers. Now, I've had a lot of people tell me that the military is against the president. They're not. Okay, and then they said we're in New York City, so sometimes they will ping their location and they'll leave it up for like 30 seconds, and they'll do that sometimes before they start a stream. Okay. And then they said, hold on a second. Okay, there was one that was out of order. They said there was one that was out of order, but it said the first flip will come from NYC. The first flip will come from NYC. Okay, Greg on YouTube. Yeah, it's not going to go on for years. What I'm saying to you is that the swamp includes MSM. I agree with you. If MSM gets their way, but you have to understand they are the mouthpiece of the swamp. So draining the swamp includes taking them out. Do I know how it's going to happen? No. I don't know. Okay. So okay, now this is interesting. Let me just make sure I get my timing right. So 12:01 a.m. 24/7, 18 hours a day. So they're talking about how he's continuing to work for the people. 24/7, 18 hours a day. Pat is saying, I thought it was NCY, not NYC. That was a typo. They came back later and said it was a typo. It's NYC. Okay, so isn't it interesting? They're saying the first flip is going to come out of NYC. And who's on the hot seat right now? Cuomo. And where is most of the mainstream media based? New York City. Think about that. Okay. So then they say he ain't called the maestro for nothing. Have you seen that meme where he says, and for my next number, I am going to drain the swamp or whatever. Yeah. No, it's the maestro. It says, my next number is called No One Can Stop What Is Coming. Somebody just said Victor characterizes POTUS as now a night raider No one knows where or what. I agree. That's a good way to characterize it. Okay, so then they said, um, okay, this is a little anecdote. Okay, in May 2019, President Trump stayed after his commencement speech at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs Thursday to shake hands with 1,000 cadets. Do you remember that? Um, and it says it lasted, they said it lasted for hours. One shake, then one 180-degree turn, then repeat for hours. Hours. Would Joe do that? This is all in the chat. Hussein, and then they said something interesting. This was in the middle of this story. Then they said Hussein and Michael hate our flag. Who else called him that? Are you guys starting to see what's happening here in these chats? And then he goes back to the story about President Trump. His deltoids and bicep caused him great discomfort for up to 3 days after. Whoever is writing this is very close to the president. Would you not agree? Yeah, Mary, I agree. Cuomo is in big trouble. All right. So then he says 24/7, 18. So 24/7, 18/24. That is obviously a clue. It could have to do with one of the drops that was made when those drops were still happening. It could have to do. It could have to do with timing, military time, right? 6:24 p.m. Right? We don't know, but he reiterated it. Okay, and then he says, and still working for free. Isn't this interesting? Get some Topnology CBD to the president. I know he needs some of our CBD. He needs superfoods. He's like super dragon energy, but he could use superfoods. And then okay, it says, listen to this. 12:12 a.m. All caps. You will kick yourself later for doubting. I promise you that. Okay. Who has been telling you, don't give up? I have no doubt that this is turning around and it's going to be quicker than you think, Greg. Okay? Just you got to believe that. All right? I'm going to read this again. You will kick yourself later for doubting. I promise you that. All right. That was a very good comment. And then they said, flags out. All right. And this is one of my favorite ones, 12:18 a.m. There is so much we want to say, but can't. There is so much we want to say, but can't. How cool is that? All right. I know that you can go back and watch this. I enjoy reading you the screenshots. Uh, um, but I think it's important. Somebody just said, Mary Grace, this is finally clarified how I can track our president. I've never stopped believing. Okay, yeah. So then they say, we'll be commenting a little more frequently on Telegram over the next 2 days. Now let me explain something to you. When they post on the George Telegram channel, there's channel and there's chat. So when they post on the channel, they usually leave an option for people to reply. That's the chat. And so I advise you to make a habit of reading the chat as well, because they will reply to people's comments in the chat and you get valuable information there as well. Okay. So, so this is important. You're learning a lot here. Now they say, we'll be commenting a little more frequently on Telegram over the next 2 days. And then they have in all caps, always ready, swords up. All right. And then Okay. Somebody in the YouTube chat said something interesting, and I think that this is worth noting. That is that, the George Telegram, they're also posting a lot of videos on their YouTube channel without live chat. They're just posting replays of they're just posting videos, and then you just watch them and you can leave comments underneath. They leave the comments open. That's different from live chat. What I think is important, and I think that if anybody really wanted to start digging, is that they're also leaving clues in the comments under those videos. So the videos themselves are clues because they are posting videos of military training in real time. The other day, they posted a video of a training exercise that was they posted a video of a training exercise at Guantanamo Bay, and it was out in the water, and they were practicing clearing up um, oil spills, something benign. But somebody in the comments said, "I take it this means that that we are still trusting the plan." Oh, hey, Michael on YouTube, I just saw you. Hello. So so somebody said that, and then George, the owner of the channel, later went back and clicked the little heart on the comment. So they're paying attention to your comments. So to me, that is an important thing to note. Paul on Facebook is asking, Bards mentioned Bloodlines of the Elites by George. Do you know where to find it? George has said that they're going to put that video series on another platform, and they're still working on it. They're working on getting subtitles. So just keep watching, because I think they will drop that link uh, into the yeah, they'll drop that link. Scott Smith, please consider deleting that last post. Is there something that needs to be deleted, Linda? Okay, so go watch those other videos, especially if you are good at reading between the lines and picking stuff up. Watch those videos and watch the comments and watch George's replies and reactions to those comments. I think there's value in that. Uh, you know, and those of you who uh, are impatient, right? You may be thinking, okay, this is just crazy. We're chasing uh, our tails here. I don't believe we are. Are there people online who are constantly, um, trying to make something out of everything? Yeah, and George actually talked about that last week. That's not what I'm talking about. So somebody just asked, I'm saying that if you can, go and watch the YouTube videos that they're putting up and pay attention to the replies. I'm not talking about the live streams and the live chat. I'm talking about the videos that George is putting up at other times of the day. These are usually short videos, usually showing something from DoD. A jet flying, a boat, a ship, things like that. Okay, tanks shooting artillery, stuff like that. Okay, so the and then I would also recommend. So I'm recommending that you pay attention to the replies, the comments, and to the way that George reacts to them, both in Telegram and on YouTube. To clarify, start paying attention to all of it, because I think there's value in it. Uh, so, okay, Roberta is saying that both Praying Medic and Denise had dreams a couple of nights ago. Yeah, I talked to them about that. Yep. So it's pretty cool. All right. So this is what George said at, I can't remember what time because it was pinned. So it said, so yes, get your hopes up. I'm going to repeat that. So yes, get your hopes up. So I'm back to reading YouTube comments. I know I've been commenting on some of your stuff. Get your hopes up. So if I am, hold on a second, I need to find somebody on YouTube here. Yeah, okay, Scott, I am going to need you to delete that that comment, because I don't want the this channel to get banned. So please delete it. And people are asking you to do that. Otherwise, I'll have to delete it. So now Diane is asking a question. Has Praying Medic been decoding these in the past? Not yet. Okay. So now, so yes, get your hopes up. That message right there that says get your hopes up, that is not a message from someone. That's not a message from someone that is asking you to wait a year or 4 years. Okay, and I'm saying this to Greg because Greg is a little anxious. Okay, so when George says yes, get your hopes up, that's just kind of cruel to tell somebody get your hopes up, and then but it's not going to happen for 4 years, especially when they haven't actually fixed the elections. So I believe that that something's coming a lot sooner. I got to watch my time here. Okay, so now I think I'm almost done. And then they put the lyrics to one of the songs from Les Miserables. Can you hear the people shout? I think it's from Les Miserables. Can you hear the people singing the songs of angry men? That's from Les Mis, isn't it? Okay. So, okay, then they put flags. All right. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap up here soon because I've got to get on another broadcast. All right. So, did that comment get deleted? I want to make sure it got deleted before we go on. Scott Smith, did you delete that? Can you just let us know? Okay. So here we go. Hope, faith, victory. Hope, faith, victory. My screenshots are blurry because I was going so fast. So hold your head high. Hold your head high. And I'm going to say one thing about this because I've been telling you this all along, that we are the winners here and our country has not been surrendered. And one of the reasons that they want you wearing these face diapers is to remind you constantly that they stole this and that they're in charge, but they're not. And it's important, it's imperative that you take back your freedom and walk with your head high and not surrender. This is really important. Go into the store without that thing on. This is your country. And every time that you acquiesce to that, you are letting it's a reminder. It's a visible reminder of what they did to our country, what they did to the world. And it's a visible reminder that they won, but they didn't. So hold your head high. Hold your head high. Okay? And then he says, puff that chest out and walk with renewed vigor and knowledge that the battle has already been won. Okay? I don't have time to answer all your questions tonight, but then he says, good night, Neanderthals, which I think is really funny. Sleep well, deplorables. Victory is mine, says the Lord. 5 flags. And then he says again, 24/7, 1824. Okay. So Vicky, what other channels does George have? Go to George's Telegram to the pinned notices, and I think that you'll be able to see that. All right. There are other channels. So I really want you to be encouraged today. And I really want, I'll talk about this a little more tomorrow, but, uh, but be encouraged and know that we win, that God wins, that our president has not walked away from this fight. And we don't all have to agree on what people think about the timing or anything like that. But I would caution you from latching on to specific dates. Because again, if the dates were announced on social media by a YouTube influencer who says that they have an inside track, then the enemy would also know. And that's not President Trump's style. So just remember that. Okay, don't be sucked in by people telling you that they know for a specific date. Now Friday is my birthday, and if you're listening to me, President Trump, I would like nothing better than to see this all wrapped up by Friday. That would be so awesome. However, don't get out over your skis on account of me. um, but I've been thinking all along that this would be a really good time for all of this to happen, you know? And and the 20th is the first day of is the equinox, right? So springtime starts. And I just think that we are coming into a time of celebration. I've actually had a dream about that too. And so, we don't know the exact timing, we don't know the exact hour, but I am super confident that this is a win. And I wanted to say too a couple things because I haven't even talked about superfoods today, but only except to say that the president needs them. But one of the things I wanted to say is that um, is that it's spring is coming. It's time for spring cleaning. If you have still been indulging in the crazy COVID horrible eating and uh, drive through foods and whatever it is that you're doing and you need to clean out and you need to get the cobwebs out, this is the perfect time to launch into the superfoods. And so if you haven't already gotten our organic green superfoods that are delivered right to your door, make sure you send me an email, info@marygracemedia.com, and get a voucher. Get a voucher so that you can save $100 or more off of a full month's supply of your superfoods so that you can jump into this transformation with us. A lot of people are doing this transformation together, and we actually are going to have transformation groups that are meeting on Wednesdays, all of March at 8 Eastern. So if you're thinking about doing this and you're not quite sure, and you want to jump into the first transformation group this Wednesday and kind of find out what it's about, you can do that. Send me an email, info@marygracemedia.com. If you're already using the superfoods and you want to jump in that, let me know. Um, if you're if you're in our transformation um, group on Telegram, I will drop the link in there. That's really the easiest way for you to get the information you need about those superfoods is to join that group. It's a private group. So if you've already ordered superfoods and you're not in that group and you need a link, please send me a message, info@marygracemedia.com. But Luann says she hasn't been sick since starting the superfoods. Yeah, it's amazing. It really is just the best. So it's not just a weight loss plan. It's actually superfoods nutrition, and one of the side effects, which is a great one if you need it, is weight loss. So whether you need to lose a little bit of weight, whether you need to just get your mojo back, whether you need to cleanse a little bit, whether you just want to get good nutrition into your body and get rid of the brain fog, um, make sure you message me, info@marygracemedia.com, because you either invest in your health now, or you pay the doctor later. So just invest in your health. Put the superfoods in your body. I get the best testimonials every single day. Okay. So I do have to go. What time is it? Yeah, it's time for me to log off here. But make sure you're following my Telegram, Mary Grace Media Official. You're going to get that information there. If you're already on superfoods, um, okay, there we go. Okay, got him. All right. So make sure you send me a message, info@marygracemedia.com. Get your superfoods savings voucher and jump in. If you've been thinking about it for a long, long time and you lost the voucher or you want another one, send me a message. And if you're already using the superfoods and you want to get in the Telegram room or you want to get onto the coaching calls that are starting, make sure that you message me, info@marygracemedia.com. It's really preferable if you get into the Telegram group so that I don't have to send people individual messages about stuff. That would be so awesome. And I'm talking about the Superfoods Telegram group. So if you're already on Superfoods and you haven't gotten into the Superfoods Telegram group, make sure that you get in there. Okay. I'm reading the chat while I'm talking to you. So I'll be back tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you to all of my moderators. Thank you to everybody for all of your good comments. Make sure that you're following. I'm Mary Grace. This is Mary Grace Media, and you can follow me on Facebook, Clout Hub, YouTube. I'm on Twitter on my backup account. On Periscope at Real Mary Grace. Where else am I? Cloud Hub channel 111, Telegram, Mary Grace Media Official. Somebody's asking for a tutorial on Telegram. Listen, I'm glad you asked that. I really don't want to tutor people on Telegram because I'm not an expert. What I'm recommending that everybody do is that you actually go to Telegram, go online and just type in Telegram app tutorials. Some of them are on YouTube, some of them are actually on Telegram. So it is incumbent upon you to learn and to take it upon yourself. I do give you some tips, but I am by no means the expert. Okay, so I will see everybody tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern. Thank you everybody for being here, and remember to help each other too. Reach out and find each other offline and help each other. So thank you everybody for being here, and have a wonderful evening.